Hello everyone. Today I was having a coffee in one of the most in one of the restaurants that I really like the most. Its name was CJ Palacio. It was a really nice hotel, and while having coffee, not coffee, I was having Horlicks at CJ Palacio. While I was having that Horlicks, I was thinking about life and things in general, about like how things are going, etc. And I kind of like decided that I was thinking about like YouTube videos, how certain people create certain niches, like Name Explain, The Simpsons video, Cinema Sins, like a pitch meeting, etc. And I figured out the importance in communication skills, where like one is the presentation effect of communication skills, where like you just present, you just good at presenting, and you just you just develop the sales um, machismo. And also there is the uh, iterating, what do you call it, the sales funnel type of like iteration, where in the sales funnel type of like iteration, you kind of you iterate towards like several people. You talk to several people, you get good at communicating over and over again, and like rather than good at presenting. So I think like sales is very different from marketing, in that sales is more like you iterating through the pipeline, and marketing is more like having a very clearly defined message. So I think like I want to get good at both. I want to get good at communicating, and I also want to get good at sales. And like both of them will have like a real world kind of like positive connotations, etc. But it's a very interesting thought that these kind of things kind of like happen and whatnot. I don't know. I'm thinking, and I today I made like a list of movies that like I wanted to review, etc. And this is kind of like the just like a startup, where like you just like keep on reviewing movies over and over again for years and years and years, and people will start to like your movies. People will start to really appreciate like the content that you're putting out, and within that content you will just start to develop sub niches of things that you really like, rather than things that like other people kind of like just say it's like positive and whatnot. So it's a yeah, I think like that's kind of like how things kind of like work, where like you kind of like develop these niches, where like you kind of like see yourself in a positive light, and where like you kind of like you become known for like being good at something, where like you become like a verb. You become like a noun or a verb, where like people identify you through something like movie reviews, or like some uh, what do you may call it, as archaeology or whatnot. Like but so in this case, like people will identify you with the certain aspect of things. And so the thing is like this will improve your general communication skills overall, or like it will just sharpen your communication skills little by little, where you're doing deep work and not general work, where you're just doing generally like just haphazard, where you're no longer in performance mode, you're in practice mode, where like you exaggerate, and like you kind of like find your own blind spot, and you're kind of like review yourself in practice mode rather than performance mode, where you'll be like you're practicing and practicing, you'll find out like your blind spots, etc. And you can say like, oh, I have this blind spot, I need to improve. Oh, I have that blind spot, I need to improve. Then you kind of like just keep on improving and improving till you find if you kind of like hit a marketing niche, where like other people have not like kind of like hit towards you in that niche. So you kind of like keep on iterating, improving, so far and so forth, till the point like you kind of like become like really good. You kind of like own a particular field and whatnot. And this got me back to my talents. One of my talents was actually uh, like uh, creating stories or narratives. So when I was very young, I read the book like 51 scientifically proven methods to be persuasive, and another book called the You Can Negotiate Anything. This proved me that like you can get from point A to point B by creating a story. So by creating a story, you can tell the listener like how you plan to move on, like going from point A to point B. So stories are very like visually appealing in the sense like they kind of like can take you from place to place or point things from story to destination. The first step in trying to get what you want is clearly identifying what you want. The second step is like having a clearly defined pathway of like, yeah, I need this. Like then it'll be like, wow, I need this, I need that, and how do I go from this place to that place? And so for that you kind of like exaggerate and you create an entire like walkabout line through where like it's like I need to go from place to place, etc. So that's kind of like that's how you kind of like create this pathway or whatnot. So like so that's the beauty of stories. And one of my greatest talents was a storyteller, where like I can tell other people's stories and I can also tell stories about myself or like stories to myself, so that like I can reach my destination much more easily. So I'm like trying to perfect my talent of like storytelling. Thanks.